Alright, okay. Man, I wish I had some, like, Halloween or even fall themed decorations. But, like, this is all the decorations we have. Wait. Oh. Yeah, okay, that's the best I got. I got a magazine on witches because I am interested in witches, witchcraft, such occult arts. I haven't even done an introduction. Let's actually get to that. Hello, and welcome to my channel, Changeling Reader. If you're new here, my name is Adrian. And today, well, it's Spooktober, and we're going to be doing a bit of my October TBR. But before that, just a little bit of a check-in, because a lot has happened, and I did not post for a month for a variety of reasons, all plain freaking irritating to me. So, yes, as you probably noted, with my very late September TBR and book haul, I'm in a different place. Yes. I think I said in the video, I'm at my college now. I mean, I included like that one section of film saying like, we're leaving, when I was unhauling the Barcode Prophecy and Sideways Stories from Wayside School. Anyways, yes, I am here. I did not pack nor have available to pack Halloween themed decorations or even fall themed decorations. I guess I could have taken some leaves, like fake leaves maybe. But it would just look a bit odd with all of the mishmash stuff, although I guess that would make it fit in. Anyways, the best we're getting for Spooktober stuff is the shirt. Squad Ghouls. Yes, I saw it in a Walmart and I was like, I'm getting that shirt. I like that shirt. It spoke to the inner ghoul. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry editing me. Anyways, we were checking in. So, yes, I moved here, don't have decorations. That's why I went off on that digression. Moved here, been here now over a month. It's the very beginning of the 26th today. So, not much later than when I posted my September TBR, although I guess that was 5 days ago now. 4? I mean, I meant for it to go up on the 21st, but then it took a little longer to like export and then download. No, upload. That's what I mean. It took a bit to get all of that and then post it. I am a bit of a chaos demon apparently when it's this late, and I am trying to be concise. I don't know why I'm just gabbing on and on. My mouth blab. So, the reason that TBR actually came really late, I filmed it pretty early, as you probably got from the stuff, because I didn't cut out any of the time mentions. I didn't cut out some of the books that I had already read by that point. Even though it's not much. It's like just a couple class books and then one. We'll see it in my attempted wrap up. That's going to be another beast, because I have to work with all of the August wrap up footage I have and combine it with whatever I filmed for September. But yes, so the reason that was late and I ended up being like, yeah, we're not gonna have the wrap up, because I spent several hours editing the wrap up video, had it really nicely done. Like I was pretty like satisfied with that video, and I would say that I did not expect it didn't just not be able to be exported. Like, I spent so much time editing that, and that it wasn't even as long as the vlog, and I barely started the vlog of like the whole like moving thing, because I have assignments I need to focus on instead of trying to work on a 2-hour vlog. I'll get bits of it in here and there or there, but here and there, here. I'll get bits of it in here and there, but it's definitely not going to be done before September is over. So you'll see a vlog that's set all the way back in August and October. How fun. It'll be fun. I feel like it'll be a bit fun to kind of have like a reflection back to summer, the end of summer or something like that. But yeah, so basically I ended up having like this problem where my laptop just wasn't charging for a bit, and that just made it so I couldn't edit, and I couldn't edit any of the videos I record because I had the vlog, the wrap up, and my TBR and book haul all filmed early in September, and then I couldn't edit it because of that. But that's not where it ends. There was also all of the reading I had to do. I had like it was really heavy for like the first half or so of the month. Like, I had to read Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, 2 books out of that, in like a couple days, alongside reading a couple other critical texts or something like that about character. And then we were reading The Fairy Queen. And that's just my English class. We also were looking at childhood, boyhood, youth, which I had already read, so that wasn't too bad. But then Family Happiness came, and oh my goodness. Anyways. Yeah, so there's that. So it was not charging. I got slammed in the face with schoolwork. Oh, I didn't even talk about Zen Buddhism, by the way, which it's really cool, especially to see like how much of my own personal philosophy turns out to have like a similar conclusions as Buddhism. I'm not going to make any conclusive statement about that because I am not bold enough nor arrogant enough to be like, I could have been another Buddha. But yeah, so there's that. Laptop not charging, getting pounded in the brain with schoolwork, all of it being like complex because even The Fairy Queen was written in the Renaissance period, purposefully archaic to the Renaissance period. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. So it's even more difficult to read. I mean, I didn't find it too difficult beyond just like trying to figure out a few things here or there. I like Edmund Spencer. I keep going off on horrible digressions. But yeah, and then I figured out like I could kind of get the charging going. Yeah, and then I ran into some stuff where it was like I was just too tired with all of this stuff because I had a couple of times where like just agitatedly not falling asleep and stuff like that. So I was tired and I needed to rest. I still am going to need rest. There was that. And then there was actually finally like getting editing in over the time I had. And I did not have a lot of time. So this is what I mean by it took a long time for me to edit the wrap up. I would say it probably was a total of like 7 or 8 hours of work to edit that because of having to like play it through and then replay it, because by the time I got back to it, I couldn't remember what I had what point I was at, and then I got it finished, right? And I was like, fantastic, yay, it's finished. Oh, I remember what the issue was. Something happened in the editing process, like several times, where I had to just like do a bunch of stuff to try to get the volume right in like the video from past me, beyond like the one that's here, past me from back at my dad's house in my room. That's a disaster. But yeah, I had to work to try to get the volume figured out for that. And then, for some freaking reason, the footage, trying to fix it, it wouldn't play. It would just like buffer and then start playing, and it would never do like that. It would continue playing from like a point past where it buffered. So it was just like, so I had to restart with that. Then there was this thing that happened with the footage that I took here, where the audio and my mouth got unsynced somehow. Like the footage, the film, like the video and the audio desynced. So I had to like edit that video, all that footage first, to make it so that the audio and video matched up as best as I could get it. And then so there was that. Then I had to actually edit both of those two separate bits of footage into the one did it. And I ended up having to delete all of it because it wouldn't export. Like, this was a day or two before I uploaded the TBR, the September TBR and book haul. That's how long just all of that mess took, and I couldn't export it. I was so mad, and then I think it had something to do with it not being able to export videos that had been edited in the same software. So I've tried putting those edited videos into a different software, just saving the exact video so it seems like a different software edited video. And now I'm going to try putting it in, because everything else exported, like previous videos, would still export. And when I tried just randomly exporting the unedited TBR and book haul, that started exporting. So I was just like, but yeah, that's going to just, I got to the point where I was like, screw it. I am just going to mash it together with my September wrap up, because I do not have the patience. Anyways, just some real quick check-ins. I haven't actually gotten very far in that TBR. I had a lot, and I may or may not, well, no, I will have read a completely different book that wasn't on the TBR for a book club I joined. So there's that. But, hold on, let me think things through. I forgot for a second I put the Witches magazine there. I haven't read any of the 100 Cupboards. I think I might read the first one this week, the final week in September. I'm gonna finish The Great Hunt, because I haven't done that. I haven't finished War and Peace. But yeah, I do hope to make quite a bit more progress. I'm still going to be reading the Zen source book in Chan Buddhism for Zen Buddhism, of course. But I am mixing it up for this October TBR, because I decided that I was going to let some stuff lie for another time, because I don't know. I was just like, I feel like it's to the point now where my brain is kind of viewing it like an assignment. So I was just like, let me mix it up a bit, get some of the stuff that I actually am kind of like thinking about picking up instead. And then I mostly have just a bunch of books I want to read for fun here. There's only 2 that are class books. Anyways, I'm not carrying over the carrying. That wasn't intentional. Nor am I carrying over the last 2 books on my TBR, which is Hidden and The Last Oracle. I think I might still pick up The Last Oracle. Who knows? But yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else was on there. Oh, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I also was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to this. Basically, I was looking at and I was like, if I don't get to it in this final week of September, I'll just save it for November. Was my brain's thinking, which is kind of terrible because I'm in my last English class of my college career, so I should read it sooner rather than later, especially because the English paper, my proposals are coming up next month. I think I might actually pick that up sooner. That one's gonna be just kind of a floating thing, I guess. I am just rambling now. What else did I need to check in on? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be trying Victober. I don't remember the exact prompts of some of them. I know there's one that's like adaptation, there's like poetry or short stories, disability. There's definitely gonna be some disability in at least some of the Victorian books I grabbed, girl. Right, okay. After importing the footage I got so far because I ran out of space, I double checked the Victober hosts challenges, which I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. Well, there's read a Victorian book with chronic illness or disability in it, read a bildungsroman or coming of age story, which they are slightly different, so we'll see about that. I think I have one. Then there's read one that has an adaptation and then watch the film, and then a work of poetry. Oh, I didn't say read a Victorian short story. That's the one I'm missing. Short story, adaptation, poem. Yes, okay. So it's disability, bildungsroman, short story, adaptation, and poetry. They're the basic 5, I guess, is the ones. Otherwise, it's just reading Victorian works, which, honestly, I probably have enough things on enough Victorian novels that will fit the works. Except poetry. I don't have any Victorian poetry, I think. But I could find a poem online, I suppose. I'm not going to worry too much about that one. I'm just going to go with the things I physically have, because I do not need to spend more time on a screen. But yes, okay, so there's that. I am wanting to participate in Victober, especially because it turns out I ended up bringing a lot of Victorian works with me that I was wanting to read. Yeah, I will say there's a little bit of variety. Yeah, so since it's October, and it's obviously I am going to be participating in Victober, I will let you know when there is a Victorian work or novel or whatever that I am like, yes, this is what I am going to be reading for Victober, one of the books. Yes. But I will say, because it is October, I also was wanting to get some of the like fall vibes, as well as kind of like the ghoulish spook like the costumes, right? So I kind of picked a bunch befitting that. And then there's just like a few random ones. Lest I ramble further, let's get into the TBR. So the first book is Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which this cover and the back are such a lie. I read this earlier in the year, I think. Yes, I read it at some point in the summer. I'm removed enough to not be so irritated with it, because I was expecting like a bit of like a scary, spooky story. And this, it's not that. It's just not. It was such a letdown. But now I actually have a better idea of what to expect with it. I will say, if you go into this, do not expect it to be scary. Some people might get frightened for like the 10 pages that have like actual spooky things and not just an atmosphere going, which is why I actually would think I might like it on a reread, is because it very much reads as like having very strong fall, autumn vibes, and a certain amount of the times either before Halloween or following Halloween, where it's like that state between Halloween and Thanksgiving that's still kind of, Halloween is lingering. Or I guess it kind of feels a bit just like fall or autumn in general, where there's kind of this build up to Halloween, and then Halloween's a day, and it always feels shorter than it should be, and it's kind of like, oh, it's gone. And then you get into November and you get Thanksgiving, and then it's over. Right? Like, that's how I would say that you should approach the vibes of this. The cover is just utterly deceiving, and I am so mad at the people who decided to focus on the Headless Horseman. Anyways, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is the first one. Next is The Dragon Reborn, a move over from the September TBR, because I'm definitely not going to be getting to this in this final 4 days. I'm not going to be getting through The Great Hunt and then finishing this, so I'm just moving this to October. Can't really say much about it because it's book 3 of the Wheel of Time. Yes. Next on the list is... The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, real quick note, also isn't Victorian. It's pre-Victorian, I think. It's not too important because I have plenty of Victorian literature. Because the next one is one of those, and it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Or I guess The Curious Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, I am so sorry. Right, I just had the same realization that this has an introduction from Vladimir Nabokov. I think this might count for disability or chronic illness. I'm not sure though. I'm sure there's actually an adaptation though as well, so this has various possibilities for Victober. And then we have The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, which is apparently the edition that Emmy first read it in, so I'm getting to share that experience in a way, although she read it much younger apparently. I did not have such access to classics when I was younger, which is fine. I just got a lot of catching up to do then. But yeah, so this is Emma's favorite novel. I think it's still her favorite. Whatever, I just want to read this because I saw the video where she talked about writing an introduction to an edition of this, and the introduction sounded so good. Like, it made me want to read The Phantom of the Opera, which is fantastic. Like, she did a fantastic job on the introduction. If just hearing excerpts of the introduction makes me want to actually pick it up even more than I already did. But yeah, The Phantom of the Opera. Oh, also, quick note, I'm not really feeling the need to talk about what a lot of these books are about so far, just because I feel like they're well known enough. I might talk about them vaguely, but otherwise, if they're books that you've seen me bring up before, for example, like if they're from the September TBR, I'm not going to talk about them much, because why would I? You already saw that video, and it's still a recent video. Watch that if you're confused. It sounds really harsh, I'm sorry, but just I'm trying to get through this so it's not such a long video, just to put a break on editing myself, and I'm rambling. We have one that is just here as like a placeholder for the whole series, which is the 100 Cupboards trilogy, because I am hoping to get through this final week of September, the first one, and then continue. But if I don't, that's fine. I'll pick it up at some point in October. Yeah. Ah, yes. And then one that I did say I would probably push into October is the Pickwick Papers, which I did start. I don't think I have even finished chapter 2. Nope. I was really liking it when I was reading it. I haven't continued it because I only recently started it, honestly, like last week, Wednesday last week, which is not going to be the same time as the same Wednesday from when you see this, ? I don't know when this is going to go up, because we'll see how long it takes me to edit. But yes, I did talk about what this is about. It's following the Pickwick Club and stuff like that. I do think, it's Dickens. So this one I think will definitely probably count towards like chronic illness or disability. And I think there might also be like slight sort of Bildungsroman vibes to it, especially if the introduction is to be taken seriously. Because I think they kind of refer to it. I think they kind of refer to it in a similar way where they're like, it's kind of got some Bildungsroman-esque vibes, maybe. Or maybe not. I mean, it's kind of like where Pickwick matures by like going from like a young man to an adult who is innocent. Like, he goes from a young man who's innocent to an adult who's innocent, kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. Right, okay. Also that's for Victober. Yes, that's the second Victorian work. And now we're getting into some more Victorian stuff. So we have Henry James's The Turn of the Screw. If you don't know about this, you really should. I have not read this, and it's a ghost story, so I am expecting this to be a bit more spooky than The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Do I expect it to be very scary? No, I don't have much expectations beyond just the thing from the back where it says widely recognized as one of literature's most gripping ghost stories. Yeah, and I don't... Oh, this is one that could also be possibly chronic illness or disability. Maybe. if you consider like possible psychological disabilities that could produce things, But there are adaptations of The Turn of the Screw that I could watch, I suppose, too. So there's that. Right, okay, so one that I remembered is that I also might pick up, or want to pick up, is Howard Overing Sturgis's Tim. Because Howard was an intimate friend of Henry James, apparently, which is why I thought of this. But yeah, I don't know much about this. It's just described as a delicate portrayal of a sensitive boy's devoted affection for an older boy, a very touching story of a tender and self-forgetful character. Right, and this was published in 1891, so it counts as Victorian. And he was an English writer. Yes. Was he American born? I have no idea. Because Henry James was an American-born English writer, right? Like, that's how he's categorized, because he's a bit of a weirdo to some people, where he's one of those ones where, like, you might read him for both American lit as well as English lit, or, like, British lit. Anyway, Tim. That's one I want to read. That might count as a Bildungsroman one, actually. Perfect. Next is another Victorian novel, Victober. It's Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. I am kind of looking forward to reading this, because I did read Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre towards the beginning of the year. Yes, I did. Yes. It feels so long ago now. But yeah, I really liked Jane Eyre. So I'm looking forward to seeing what another Bronte sister has to bring to the table. Also, I'm expecting not romance. This is another one that adaptations or Bildungsroman or coming of age, possibly. I mean, I don't actually know for sure exactly what happens. I mean, it's called a love story, but it follows like people growing up and making ties or like reuniting their lines. I don't know. I actually don't know much about this, and I don't really want to, because I feel like sometimes classics are a bit ruined by knowing what's in them or knowing how much people love them. Fortunately, this is one that people are either like really dislike or love or just So I have no gauge to be like, oh, this is a very well loved book. Hopefully I don't dislike it, or it's a very disliked book. Ooh, what if I like it? Because there's always that awkward kind of like stage where you're like, oh, why do people dislike it, or why do people like it? I mean, I've never actually said that actually. Because there are points where I'm like, I can kind of see why people like this. It doesn't work for me, though. I don't see the thing they say about characters feeling alive or how, or what have you. Because reading this, they don't feel alive. I'm mostly thinking about Tolstoy right now. I apologize. That's a rambling. Anyways, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte is on my list. Next, we just have a Renaissance period one. Is it Renaissance? But anyways, this one's for class. And it's Ben Jonson's Plays and Masks, a Norton Critical Edition. Yes, look at him. Look at Ben Johnson. Yeah. That is what we'll be reading after Galatea, which I am currently reading. Anyways, we're getting down there. So the second to last book, but which encompasses a few things, is this, which you can't tell, but it's The Picture of Dorian Gray and Other Stories by Oscar Wilde. I do not know what happened to the dust jacket, so it's just this kind of a little battered hardback. But yeah, I think I'll read like The Picture of Dorian Gray, as well as maybe one or two of Wilde's short stories to fill that challenge. But yeah, The Picture of Dorian Gray. If you don't know what it is, you can. There are a ton of people who love The Picture of Dorian Gray. I have not read it. I am really hoping I do not dislike it, because I really wasn't. I did not get along with the importance of being earnest. Like, when I read it for a class, everyone else in the class loved it, and I was just like, it was boring at best, was my reaction. And like kind of very irritating at worst, but that was only a couple times. Oh, I am sorry. But yeah, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Okay, and then lastly, the one I'm pushing in is War and Peace. That's it. Because I have only gotten like a few pages into book 11. Yeah, I am on chapter 2 of book 11 in War and Peace, so I still have a bit to go. Yeah, so those are all the books on my TBR. There may be one more, or maybe not, depending on what the book club comes up with. Also, of course, bear in mind that I did say that I might also pick up The Last Oracle, which was in my September TBR. I might also pick up Hidden if I am in the mood. Oh, right. Also, let me grab that. How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I'm going to try to get through that for sure. So yeah, there's all that. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, comment, like. You do you. Although, if you really like this content and you want me to get more, you want more people to see this, like, comment, subscribe, do it for the algorithm. Also, share the video or your favorite video of mine so far. I don't know if I've created any that are like outstanding to the point where you're like, you'll love this person. Because I feel like I'm more of just like a calm vibe that I'm not really reaching to grab people's attention, which is not conducive to watch time. I could change that. I could have like changes in my voice where I do like all kinds of things. Like, oh my goodness, I would have to work on it. I could also do like sound effects or stuff like that. Am I going to though? No. Because that just feels so fake. It would be so insincere and just faked. And also, like, I don't know that I want my channel to have that full energy. I like more of the vibe of kind of like maybe chill chaos, which sounds a bit oxymoronic. But and yeah, I am here. I am pretty chill but like restrained, and yet I have a lot going on. I ramble. Yeah. Do all the things or don't. It's just doing it does help me get a wider audience, which can help me do more discussions and maybe make money. That's not the point of this, though. Weird. Bye.